What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show. As always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Also know that I am a certified empowerment coach, president and CEO of Express Your Vibe Coaching and Communications, and do always realize that the Dr. Vibe Show is the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, and we're doing that thing again. We're doing our Sunday night thing at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we're here with Rodney Kellum from Speak Like International Speaking. And if you haven't joined us, or if you have joined us for the last few Sundays, we've been going through the Speak Life series, and Rodney's been given some good thought process for everyone, but especially fathers, well, everyone included, in regards to different areas of your journey, whether you're at the start, beginning, near the end, whatever. And tonight, Rodney's going to continue his Speak Life Faith series. But Rodney, first and foremost, how are you keeping?
Doing all right. And as always, it's a joy to be here. And I want to say thank you for providing a platform for me to speak life to your audience and all those that will be tuning in on the various platforms that you're syndicated on. So again, thank you, Dr. Vibe. And this week we are wrapping up the Faith series, the Speak Life Faith series. In part one, we talked about I can, I will, and I am. That was going from believing that you can be what you were created to be, the I will part, which is the planning phase, and the I am is walking in what you were put on this earth to do. The second part was fire and turning on your faith switch. There comes a time in your life where you're going to have to either believe what you say you believe or just turn back and always remain exactly where you are. And tonight, we're going to be talking about I declare. I declare is all about declarations. And so I'm going to get into that tonight. And thank you for tuning in, of course. So we're going to call it I declare, open your mouth and reclaim your power. And this is going to be delving into how to use faith-based statements to reclaim your power, whether you are somebody who has low self-esteem and you want to go to somebody who's held in high regard, somebody who's been a victim and you want to become a victor, whether you are somebody who suffers from lack in your life, in your lifestyle, and you want to operate in prosperity, or if you're someone who's lonely and you want to operate in being in a relationship, someone who wants to be in a loving relationship. And so I'm going to give you some of the tools and steps that I've used in my life, applied in my life, that have gotten fruit, that have produced things that allow me to live a life that I only dreamed of when I was a child. And I'll start with a story of my childhood. You know, by the time I was 7 years old, I've been through a lot in my life. My mother was an addict during the time of the boom of the crack epidemic in Los Angeles County. So it was the hot spot of the boom of when it all happened. I'd seen violence and you know, all the different kind of perversions that can go on around the world, all right outside of my door. And I became a Christian at the age of 7. And for me, it's because what I saw, the fruit that happened. My mother got free from her addiction. She began to turn her life around. We had peace and joy in our lives, in our hearts, and in our words. Our lives began to get better. We moved into better places, better neighborhoods, better homes. And for me, this is the beginning of walking in faith and not by sight. Meaning, what I saw right outside my door was a lot of negativity, a lot of bad things happening, violence, shootings, gang activity. But because of my faith being turned on, accepting my faith, I began to believe that things would get better. And it was something that just wouldn't go away. And so fast forward to now, when I've been through the fire incident, which was one of the last talks I gave, and turning on your faith switch, is where I simply decided to completely believe all the promises God had for me in my life. And I want to share with you, and I hope my desire, and I hope you receive this, is that you'll become somebody who begins to use your words as your superpower. I simply believe that God spoke things into existence, and I'm made in His image and likeness, and I employ everything that He has shown me in my life. So by faith statements, I simply mean things like, you know, I've been through some lack in my life. I've been let go, laid off, fired, however you want to put it, several times for several different reasons. And because I have faith, no matter how many times I've been through that situation, I would declare things like, I am prosperous. I'm in between wealth. You know, some people say, I'm broke, I'm broke. And when you declare that, your mind begins to create. It finds ways to create the life that you're speaking. So I would speak, I'm prosperous. I'm a wealthy king. All my business and business endeavors are prosperous and profitable. I say these things every day because I know the purpose that's on the inside of me requires me to be at a certain level. If you're out there and you've been hurt by somebody, you're down on yourself, you're in circumstances and situations maybe somebody else placed on you, maybe a parent, a family member, a loved one, a relationship. Maybe they've been verbally abusive. Maybe you've been through being fired and let go or downsized. You've been through several different situations, and it seems like life may be beating up on you. I'm going to implore you right now to change your mind by changing your words, right? So let's take an instance. You know, I can always pull from my own experience. The very first time I ever got laid off was in 2008 when the whole economic downturn happened here in America. And everyone was scared, and I had just had my first son. Our first child was just born. My dad had come to visit. You know, I hadn't seen him in years, and I had to come home to my wife that had just given birth, who was still in nursing school at the time. She was still breastfeeding this very young baby. And I had to tell her one of my worst fears that had come true, that I lost my job today. So I could have decided in that moment to take into consideration all my circumstances. New baby, wife in school, you know, she can't work because she's taking care of my child and working, and going to school. My dad's here. I want to show him, you know, I'm doing good. I could have been down on myself. I could have said, oh, please, woe is me, help, help, help. I lost my job, what am I going to do? Please, sir, more porridge. I could have played that role. But I decided, I said to myself, I'm going to find something else. And before that day was over, before I even left my job that I just got let go, I was on the phone making calls to people. Hey, you still looking? Hey, you still looking? I'm interested. Can we meet? You've simply got to decide that no matter what circumstance comes your way, that you are victorious. It may seem counterintuitive because your whole life you've learned how to be a negative, a pessimist, to look down on yourself, to play the victim. And where has that gotten you? I've been where you've been. I've been in these situations. And because I make the decision to be victorious, even when I go through some of the hardest things in life, my mind makes a way. It shows me the solutions to go and get the life that I desire. So maybe you're lonely. You're a man or a woman, and you're looking for a spouse. You want to be in a loving relationship. Versus speaking it out into the universe out there, saying what you want out of your husband, what you want out of your spouse, your wife. Speak over yourself. I am a wonderful spouse. I'm everything my spouse is looking for. I give them everything that they need and then some. I'm prepared mentally and physically for what's to come. I have so much joy to give and to pour into them. I am overflowing with love. Do you see how these things just roll off of my tongue? And I didn't write any of this. This is all just coming from my experience, from my heart, because I know there's people out there that truly and almost severely desire that marital relationship because they have something to give. And when you turn that mindset around of what you can get from someone to versus what you can give to someone, that's a very attractive thing. Because truth be told, marriage is about giving, not taking. Giving, not taking. I have this saying, you go through your whole life, your parents pour into you, your teachers pour into you, if you're in a great work situation, your bosses pour into you. And at some point, you get so filled up, it's selfish of you to keep it to yourself. You're just overflowing and trying to keep it all to yourself. But it's time when you get so poured into, pour into others. And that's the best example of what I can describe of the marital relationship. It's pouring, pouring, pouring in one another. You're just pouring back and forth, and you're operating out of overflow. Never not enough. I forget the book I read that talked about the emotional bank account. You want to keep your loved one, your spouse's emotional bank account full and overflowing. Because in return, you're only going to get it back. Use that. If you have low self-esteem, if you've been verbally abused, this is the really tricky part, because all you have in your mind are the replays of the negative conversations all that you've ever heard. And so you're going to have to become an opposite person. Everything that you know and everything that you've heard throughout your whole life, you ain't nothing, you ain't going to never be nothing, you're not beautiful, you're not handsome, you ugly, all these things, whatever it may be for you, flip it. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. You are more than enough. You are here on purpose for a purpose. God didn't make a mistake when he made you, when he allowed you to come to this earth, even if your parents don't recognize it. Can you hear what I'm saying? Can you feel what I'm saying? Even if your parents don't recognize it, because maybe their parents did the same thing to them. Maybe you're the person who was destined to break the cycle, so that when your children come along, it is over. And those parents will see in their grandchildren the mistakes that they made with you and be repentive. And maybe finally feel sorry and want to desire to make that change. If not, at least your children are on the right path. It's all on you. Rodney, you're not a victim, you're victorious.
Just want to interrupt you for a second. When you get close to the camera, we lose the top of your head. So just be careful. I didn't want to interrupt you as you were sharing there, but just waited for a break that I just want to say, when you get close to the camera, we'll lose the top of your head. So just be careful. That's better.
Yeah, I want everybody to see my results of going to the hair club for men. I can't cut that off.
There you go. There you go. Well, you got more than me.
Only a client. I'm the president, right?
Well, there you go. You see, the thing is that you got more than me, so you're in a position of overflow.
Right. And maybe I'll share my secrets of how to regrow my hair later on. Right.
There you go.
So yeah. So out of that switch in your mind state, it may be painful in the beginning, because you're really going to be fighting an internal battle of what you've been told about yourself. That internal voice. You're going to have to retrain yourself. Secondarily, you need to get around people or listen to messages that affirm you. Affirm what you're believing about yourself, what the next version you is about to be. To walk in that. Maybe you're someone who already is on a path of self-improvement. You say, you know what? There's just some things I just don't know. There's some things that I want to improve on. There's a better me on the inside, and it's time for you to walk in that. So I'm going to say the same thing about the last scenario. Start reading, start listening to audio of people that will pour into you. Go to seminars of people pouring into you, giving you a new philosophy about life. Because we have to be honest with ourselves. When you look around at your life, of everything that's within it, the life you live right now is the result of your best thinking. Your best thinking. Zig Ziglar says, if you have a lackluster life, it's the result of stinking thinking, in his Mississippi accent. Stinking thinking. So it's time to change your thinking, your thoughts. What's in your mind will come out of your mouth. What comes out of your mouth will produce the life that you see and that you live. So simply, I'm at a place where I believe that I will accomplish everything that God has put me on earth to do. And to not do it is to waste the gifts, time, assignments, work, and purpose God has given me. And I'm going to reiterate this point in this phrase. Write it down, tweet it out, hashtag Rodney Kellum. You are on earth for a purpose. You are on earth on purpose. For a purpose. On purpose, for a purpose. It is in you, and it is of you, for you to find that reason, that purpose that you're here on earth, to live out, to share, to exemplify, to help improve someone else's life, not just yours, because remember, it's time to operate out of an overflow. You've already been poured into. It's time to give. It's time to give. It's time to give. It says it's better to give than to receive. But the truth is, the more you give, the more you receive. And so I want to recap. You know, this whole series has been about faith. Faith. What you believe is what you'll achieve. I'm going to start rhyming all of a sudden, right? I'm going to be a rapper for a moment. The faith component is the most powerful component of creating the life that you want. It is not solely the education that you have. It is not solely the circle that you run with, your network. It is what you believe, because what you believe undeniably becomes what you will have. The book Think and Grow Rich, it rehashes this point over and over and over. There's been scores of millionaires created in this country that I live in called America because they read that book and they decided to believe no matter what, they will have what's on the vision of their mind's eye. So I want to encourage you before we end this, before I end this portion of, and the last of the faith series, of Speak Life's faith series, is that I want you to reject your mediocrity, which is all the things that you've done so far that you know are not living up to what you see in the vision that you have in your mind, and embrace the greatness that's on the inside of you and you alone, that no one else on this earth was created to do. Embrace that gift, that talent, that purpose that you have. Share it with the world. Write it down, speak it out, live it out. I can, I will, I am. Operate in that right now. What I'm doing with Dr. Vibe in this series that I'm doing, or these several series that I've been doing, is me operating in my purpose. And I'm immensely grateful for Dr. Vibe for providing this outlet, because people like you in his audience, I know, need to hear this message. I needed to hear this message once upon a time, and therefore I'm operating in overflow and giving it to you. So I want to say thank you for the most valuable commodity on earth, which is your time. Because once you give it away, you'll never get it back. This is Rodney Kellum of Speak Life, and thank you, and thank you.
Well done as always, Rodney. I have a few quick conversation pieces for you. Did you ever hear your mother declare? Have you ever, and has she ever declared anything in her life on the positive? What was one of the things that she declared that you saw or saw her put into action?
What I saw with my mother is that when she became, something about when she hit 30, around 30 years old, 30, 31-ish, where, I don't know if it's something magical about women when they hit 30, is when the self-confidence comes in. They understand their value. This is what I've seen from my mother and all the women that were around her as I was growing up, is that she began to say things like, you know, I'm not going to waste my time on that, on him. You know, I am beautiful no matter what they say. I remember hearing her say these things, and she was such an inspiration to me. She actually co-created an organization called Diamonds in the Rough years and years ago for the purpose of sewing into women, helping them grow their confidence, feel beautiful about themselves, encourage them to remain sober on the road to sobriety. All these things she poured into people as a result of her own maturity and learning how to apply it. So I absolutely did see her do this in her life.
Excellent. What was the first major declaration you made in your life?
Wow. I believe it was the one that hit me upside the head when I said, I am here on purpose, for a purpose. Secondarily, that it's not all about me. When I understood that the life that I live, the life that I have lived, the life that I will live, is not all about me. Everything that I've gone through, the good and the bad and the neutral, has been for the purpose of sowing into somebody else, speaking life into somebody else. And those two statements really help reshape and frame the purpose and the drive that I have right now to speak life into other people. I've lost people along the way. I lost some loved ones. My mother died back in 2002. I've lost some college teammates. I've lost some childhood friends for various reasons. And it helps me remember the value and importance of the time that once you give away, you'll never get back, is that we all have a limited amount of time. This hourglass is continuing to run of life. And the time that you're given, which you don't really know how much you have, if you aren't operating in purpose, for the purpose of leaving a legacy, of giving, teaching, doing, creating prosperity for you and others, then you're wasting time. You are wasting the most valuable commodity on earth. And I can't afford to do that. I've got too much to give. My children need a legacy. My children need an example. There are people ready to die out there that don't have to die because they don't understand their value. They don't understand their purpose and the lives that they will change and impact by giving of themselves. I'm here to help people recognize that, turn on that light bulb, walk in their purpose, operate in their passion, operate in overflow, because it will save and change lives for the better. We're going to impact the world, Dr. Vibe, and you're a part of that.
We already are. Yeah. I don't speak in the past. We're doing it now. We've been doing it for a while, but maybe a while back we didn't realize it, but we're doing it now. We need to realize it and speak life to it. One last conversation piece before I let you go. It's actually quiet back there for a second. I thought the youngest one was going to bust the door down.
He was attacking me.
Yes, he was in attack mode, attack for daddy mode. Have you had an opportunity to share the declaration principle with, I know your wife, no problem. Have you had a chance to share that declaration principle with any of your children as of yet?
Yeah, my 9-year-old hears it all the time. Whenever he speaks pessimistically, we instantly correct him. It's almost like an echo in this house. Like, don't you say that? Right. You know, when he says word or phrases like, I can't, this was too hard, those are like bad words in this household and in this family. And we instantly correct that. So as my 2 younger ones come up, it's going to be normal to them. And these are things that you must teach your children, because they may have ingrained negative self-talk. Even if they never learned it from you, they may have learned it from school or a teacher just overhearing things. And so you're really fighting against a world full of negativity. You have to be a beacon of light and hope of positivity. If they don't get it from you, they may not get it from anywhere. And the way that I operate, they're going to get it from me every day.
Excellent. Well, I'll just add on 2 things I say on the regular, share on the regular, is that one thing is Henri Morris, a long-time veteran of the Dr. Vibe show, says, time never lost a fight. And I always share with people, the first person that hears something when you say it is yourself. So I'll leave it at that. Rodney, if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Wonderful. Reach out to me, various platforms on Facebook at Rodney Kellum of Speak Life. That is the official page. All my content goes there. I share the Dr. Vibe content there. My website at speaklife.online. You may email me at rodney@speaklife.online. And you may find me on social media at Fatherpreneur, because I made fatherhood my business. And you spell it like entrepreneur with father in the front. And coming up on June 9th, I have an event just for fathers located in Gwinnett County, Norcross, Georgia. June 9th, the weekend before Father's Day. More details to come, but you're going to want to be a part of it. If you watch this video, hear this audio, you live in the Atlanta area, I want you to be a part of it. Email me, rodney@speaklife.online. You don't want to miss it.
Excellent. Well, it's Dr. Vibe here. I'm host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show. If you want to catch replays of epic conversations like this, just go to the YouTube, put in the search engine, the space DR period space VIBE space SHOW. If you want to catch audio replays of my epic conversation, there is a myriad of places that you can go to. You can go to the Dr. Vibe show website, which is the DRVIBESHOW.com. You can go to Apple Podcasts, you can go to iHeartRadio, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn Radio, Google Play Music Store. You can also catch selected audio replays at thegoodmenproject.com and WJMS Radio out of New York City. I am a certified empowerment coach, president and CEO of Express Your Vibe Coaching and Communications. If you'd like a complimentary 30-minute empowerment session with myself, love to have that with you. You can email me at dr.vibe@thedrvibeshow.com. Touch base with me via Twitter at drvibeshow, or you can go to my website. Go to the top of the website and hit on the Contact Dr. Vibe Show text. It'll give you the opportunity to reach out to me via email, audio, or video message. I am a brand ambassador for the only online magazine dedicated to African Americans in food, wine, and travel. The name of the magazine is Cuisine Noir Magazine. The website address is cuisinenoirmag.com. You can also, if you're looking to get media promotion, I operate a service called Getting Media Coverage, where I help entrepreneurs and business people elevate their brand, service, or product. Touch base with me in regards to that. Finally, you can listen to me every Friday morning at 7:25 a.m. Eastern Time on WURD out of Philadelphia. It's Pennsylvania's largest publicly owned black radio station. They're on AM and FM out of the Philadelphia area. They're also online via their website, via their app at the TuneIn store, also the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. I am a panelist with the hosts of the morning show on WURD, IQ Raw and Christopher Flood, the drummer Norris. The segment is called The Week That Was, where we examine stories that made news and the stories that didn't make news that should have made news over the past week. That's it. 3 last things. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Next up, sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. And finally, block assumptions. I'd like to thank everyone for taking the time to watch us live on the replay. We'll be back again next week with a new series from Rodney. And God bless, peace be well, keep the faith, and walk good. Thanks again for watching. God bless.